Welcome to The View. The Common Core is widely discussed among families across the U.S. Today on The View, we will have experts Catherine and Rebecca debating the issue. The Common Core is a set of high-quality academic standards in mathematics and English. These learning goals outline what a student should know and be able to do at the end of each grade. The standards be created to ensure that all students graduate from high school with the skills and knowledge necessary to succeed in college. 42 states, the District of Columbia, and 4 territories, and the Department of Defense Education Activity have voluntarily adopted and are moving forward with the Common Core. We have here today Catherine, who is fighting the Common Core and the standards, and Rebecca, who is pro-Common Core.
Okay, from what I understand, the Common Core is more complex than what we have taught in the previous years of the United States education, and therefore making it a lot harder on kids to be able to actually learn what's going on. It also challenges the parents, and it's actually turning into a very big debate among Americans, even though it is not really necessary.
So, I have some first-hand experiences from parents and teachers, and it says here that in New Orleans, an 8th grade teacher explains how the Common Core created a clearly articulated vision of what a college and career-ready student looks like. And she says she now does a simple check whenever she's planning a lesson or activity and asks herself the questions: does that activity contribute to the vision of a college and career-ready student? Is it worthy of her students' time? So, and a lot of people argue that the Common Core doesn't allow teachers to be creative, but a former Colorado Teacher of the Year, Seth Berg, said that he's not reading off anybody's script and that he acknowledges that it's a challenge to change classroom practices, and in some cases he throws out the old ways of doing things and has to embrace the challenge of the new way and how Common Core and how liberating Common Core can be.
Well, what my problem is with that is that even though it is preparing kids for college, not every kid is going to be able to go to college or want to go to college for that matter. So then, if you're going to make it more complex for those kids who don't want to go, then you're going to make them hate the education system even more. So I don't really understand that necessarily. And then on top of that, even though, yes, the teacher isn't going off a script or anything like that, it is making things more complex for the parents when they're trying to help their kids, do their homework or whatnot, because the parents can't help their kids because they don't know exactly what is going on because they're throwing away the old education system.
I also heard recently that in the past couple of weeks, a couple states are rejecting Common Core, such as Massachusetts.
Well, in most cases, the way that they're teaching the math and other subjects, it's a lot more complex than you would actually need in real life, which is, for example, a simple math problem, 9 plus 5 would equal 14. But in the way that they're teaching it, they're thinking, okay, for 9, how many does it take to get to 10? 1. So then how many does it take to get to 15? And then you have to subtract it, and it's a lot more complex than just memorizing 9 plus 5 equals 14. I understand that's a lot geared for different kids who can't understand that, and that's great, but it's a lot more complex and it's just not really necessary.
I think the one thing, though, that I have a problem with is that they're punishing kids from doing the basic math that we were all taught to do the arithmetic way, and now Common Core is saying, no, that's not the right answer. Even though technically it is, it's not the right way you should come about the answer.
Yeah, but also for decades, schools in different states have been taught different materials and at different rates and held to different standards. And with Common Core, it's kind of bringing everyone together. And as a nation, we're moving together instead of having some states be left behind and some states going forward.
That's kind of ironic because that act was actually from George W. Bush, called the No Child Left Behind Act. And now Common Core, the standards is implementing Obama's act, which is Every Student Succeeds Act.
And I know this gentleman, Bill Athel, and he will go to your local McDonald's and he'll tell the cashier what he wants. He'll say, oh, I'll give you a 20 when it's $15.87. and the cashier will punch everything in, and then he'll say, oh, I think I have the change. And then the cashiers tend to get all confused and such because they can't do the math on the fly, whereas if you teach the children the old way, they can do it in a snap, whereas if you're going to teach them Common Core, they're not going to be able to think of everything right away.
Alright, that's all the time we have today, so now it's up to the viewers to decide what their opinion is on Common Core. Thank you for watching The View, and thank you to the experts Rebecca and Catherine.
Have a good evening.